Ladies and gentlemen, and my not forgotten Swedish boar spears, welcome to another Timoredbeard video. This is a long one, and the reason for that is that it's taken from my stream when we interviewed some of the developers of Valheim. So if you're interested in hearing what they have to say, to talk about themselves, what they do, and some of the things and obstacles that they have gotten over during the period of developing Valheim and since it entered early access, then stay tuned because I've got it all for you here. Now, just as a quick disclaimer, it is very, very, very important that you know that nothing that they say here is being said in the official capacity of the Iron Gate studio. They are just talking about their experiences and their loves and their passions themselves independently. And so please do not hold them to anything that they say as being official. Thank you so much. If you want to catch more of my content and further interviews with the devs later down the line, make sure you follow me over at twitch.tv/Timo_Redbeard. I go live 4 days a week, starting at 3 p.m. BST. Hope to catch you there. But otherwise, I won't stop you any longer. Let's jump into this interview.
All right. My name's Robin. I live in Sweden. I'm a Swedish guy, half New Zealander, Kiwi. I do art, basically. Been working with Iron Gate for 2.5 years now, I guess. I've been there since they started the company, and I started out being like the generalist, but now it's turning into a specialist, a bit more and more. But yeah, no, that's basically what I do. I did basically all the animations and all the art stuff and models until we got more people in, which we have now.
And you do a whole lot of other stuff too, I'd say, like testing and design choices and just general, everything.
Yeah, so I do a lot of so me and Richard sit together a lot and do the. Oh, my son's awake. 1 second. Go on to the next one.
No worries. Yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I might have that problem as well because I have 3 kids sleeping and they just fell asleep, and I have a 4-year-old somewhere and I'm not even sure. She went and hid, and my hope is that she went to sleep by herself, but she might show up here anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So I'm Jonathan, and I'm one of the newly hired. So I've been only working on Valheim for 3 months now. So I'm not sure how much I can bring to this discussion, but I mean, it's been a very interesting 3 months, and it's been a lot of fun. And of course, I've already done quite a few things. I'm hired I'm mainly a programmer, but I was actually an artist a bunch of years ago. I worked only as an artist. So I do have 3D modeling and 2D art and everything like that in my backpack, and I have already done a few models. Actually, I did the tiny, what do you call it? The new trees, the birch and the oak seedlings and the seeds for them, like in my first few weeks. So I do a little bit of everything, but mainly I will be working as a programmer to help Richard to offload a lot of the stuff, because otherwise everything is basically on him.
awesome.
So, yeah. That's me. Over to Jens.
No, you can't call me Jens. You have to call me Smithy like everyone else at the company.
Oh yeah, his secret identity is
Yes.
it's
No,
revealed.
it's fine, man. It's fine, man. My tiny subhuman is actually with mommy, so I'll probably not be disturbed by the little kid. But yeah, I actually started. Yeah, Fanstar was exposed. I know. But I actually started 1 year ago as I signed up to the game as a beta tester. I'm like, ooh, this is a cool game. It's Vikings and build and survival. I like this. This is gonna be a cool game. Hell yeah! And then I got in. I got into the Discord. I was so active on the Discord that actually one of the moderators went to Grimcord and said to Grimcord like, yeah, this guy Smith is really active, give him a key. So Grimcore and he had like their first discussion ever, and they made. So I got the second key sent, the second round of keys sent out to me, and I tested, and then I went to the void and said, "Hi, can I help testing because I have a lot of time, and I see that you're doing more testing that I can see." And he goes like, "Okay, fine." So I got invited to the core testing team. that tested like everything before other testers. And next up, it became around New Year's, and I was still really active in Discord, and someone said, hey, could you why don't you just add Smith as a moderator on the team, because he does a lot of things, he's more active than anyone else. And so Devoid says, yeah, sure, that's a good idea. So I got moderator, okay? And then it came close to the early access release, and and I saw they're talking to a few of them every now and then, and I saw that Lisa got swamped in emails. They got bug reports and stuff, and I was moderating just like that. So I sent Devoid, because I was going on to either have to take a normal job, or I was sent Devoid hey, can I help you guys with anything? I mean, we know each other a little bit. And goes I'll think about it. And they came back 2 weeks later and so yeah, we can hire you. We need people doing stuff. So I would say in this team, I am the only one without game developer experience. I'm an educated Cisco network specialist, but I haven't had any I think I used it once when me and Devoid did some network testing, early stuff. But that's me. What I'm doing on the team, I'm testing, community managing, a bit of PR, handling Discord, handling bug reports, testing bugs, every single bug you guys send. It's basically me, and I loved our new guy, Andreas. I love him. He's awesome because we can test stuff together and we break the game and we explain why shit happens. It's awesome. So now we're two actually breaking the game together.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So from what essentially I can gather there is that Grim started off as an artist and has very much moved into more of an art director role, where he's guiding the direction of the art as much as actually creating the art. And then Jonathan,
I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah. And then Jonathan and Smithy, you guys are newer hires that have been brought into the team through a necessity, and you do all sorts of bits and pieces. That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in the team does only one thing. Everyone does a bit of different things, because no one is only this thing. So, but I was hired in March.
Except for
this year.
Christopher.
He's awesome as well.
Yep.
I just love working with these people, because since I don't know anything, I know some programming, but it's so awesome watching these really good people work. Every day I see awesome stuff happening. I'm oh, so awesome.
It's been nice having after. But you had the contracts before summer, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, actually, I don't know how detailed you wanted to go into it, but I actually sent them an email already in February, just when I tried the early access game. I was yeah, this game looks pretty cool, and I think you guys will probably need help. So maybe you would be interested in some help. And I didn't know they were looking for people, but they a little while after that they put up some that they were looking for people. So it was a very long process.
It was a very long process, because I remember we were looking at we put out that we were looking for people, and it was just taking so long. Me and Richard, Smith, Eric were just doing bug testing all the time. It was are we able to put in more people now? No. Wait for it.
That's what I was thinking too. I know how long it takes to hire people and everything, so that's why I sent just this random email where I was I know everything is difficult and you're gonna have a lot on your table right now. I have experience and I could just basically jump in and get started if you need to offload some tasks or anything. Then the whole process still went through the standard hiring process, so it did take them quite a long time, and several times I was okay, I'm sure they went with somebody else, because I haven't heard anything for a long time, but I guess they're very busy also, so eventually I got a response. And
which tank game did you do?
I don't know about the other ones, but mine had bosses. I don't know if
okay, because I only saw one tank game.
I
Yeah, I
had
think
bosses and I had wings. You could have wings on your tanks. I'm guessing no other game had both of those things.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you tried that, but
I didn't try that.
Richard tried all of them.
Yeah, he had to.
Yeah, but
I sure hope so. I spent a lot of time working on it.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
know
like, no, we didn't even try it.
he played a lot of tank games that I do remember. I don't know. I think I only saw 2.
Yeah, well, I'll send you a link. You can try it later. And
Oh, yeah.
I added online high scores. I love making online high scores in jam games that I make. So I do see that somebody at least played it from outside my friends that I also sent it to.
That's a little bit how you see if they're even interested in your game. If you
exactly.
get more and more high scores, like, it's looking good.
Yeah, it would have been fun if there was like 5, like everybody on the team tried the game and they're like, oh, let's beat the high score.
Ooh.
I did offer. I sent it to a Discord group that I have with some friends, and I said, whoever gets the highest high score, I'll send them some free Steam keys. So I did actually get quite a few people to sit there and try it, and did beat each other's high scores.
But what I was going to say is that after summer, when we actually got people to start working here, it was nice to be able to unload chores and delegate to other people as well. I mean, it's been me, Lisa, before doing a lot of the things, but it was nice to just have Christopher come in and just take over the animations, because I am not a good animator. And it's nice to see him like taking what I've done, polishing the animations of that, and giving it more life. That's nice. I really like that part.
Awesome. I saw somebody comment on that, like bring back the original. What was it? The wave? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I saw that. They wanted the
Really?
original wave. Yeah, the original wave. The wave animation.
The one that if you hold a knife, you're stabbing your chest.
Yes.
I think that kind of was iconic in some way.
Just like the bees are happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the bees are happy.
So wait, so Grim, are you the person to blame for the overhead spear animation?
Yes. That's basically me, because we had to find a way, because so the way the weapon system works is that we attach a weapon to a specific joint, and in this case I came in after the main character had been created and modeled and everything. So if I would have done it from the beginning, I would have put a joint or an invisible bone in the hand that I can actually move separately from the hand. So when you had we wanted to give the spears a secondary attack, which was, we wanted in the beginning the spear just had the primary attack, which was just throwing the spear, but then we wanted to give it the alternative attack, which was a little bit of a stab or like a poke in the beginning, but we couldn't find a good way without twisting the arm and breaking stuff. So we figured out, like, okay, let's give him like an overhead attack.
Okay.
Because we couldn't really move the weapon in any different way for that certain animation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something we might look into in the future, because that's something I've been bugging Richard a lot about, is putting in these extra joints so we can actually do some cool, I don't know, some cool animations with them, that like spinning the spear like everybody wants. I don't think that I wouldn't want it, but people seem to like spinning spears.
No, that's fair enough. The main reason I ask is I've had about 7. So I put feelers out to a lot of the community for questions to ask you guys during this sort of thing, and I had a lot of responses coming back, asking me to ask you why the spear wasn't an underarm thrust and why it was an overhead thrust, sort of. But I mean, that makes sense. That makes complete sense, because I understand rigging. I've got a little bit of background in sort of mocap and stuff, so I understand like rigging characters and the like, and so I do understand.
Oh, nice. Okay, so then you understand my dilemma that I have then. No, but one thing is also, because we already have the Atgeir, which is like a forward thrusting poke, piercing attack. Feels, I don't know, it kind of ends up in that kind of valley, and we want them to be distinct. So I think it's okay to have it that way. But no, yeah, if we could just put in one extra joint. The thing is that will basically wreck the whole system that we have now. We'll have to attach every single item. But the further we wait with it, the more weapons we have to redo. So
Yeah.
So let's wait longer. I think we can
Let's
wait.
wait longer. Yeah.
No, it definitely. Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds like the sort of thing that it would be more beneficial to you guys if you plan to do it at all, to do it earlier than later, for sure. But I'm also sure you guys have got schedules to keep to, and something like that will throw off all of your schedules massively.
We don't
Schedules,
actually
you
have a
say?
lot of schedules. What's the schedules you're talking about now?
Yeah.
Thankfully, we don't have a lot of schedules. I think that's great.
No, we don't.
That's positive, I think. Well, from my perspective, anyway. Like, I would prefer to be able to be free with what I'm working on, so that I can be truly creative. Because as soon as you add time constraints, it becomes hard to be genuinely creative with what you're doing, I feel.
That's absolutely correct. That's how we feel as well. As soon as we saw that we had a roadmap, because I had no idea that we were going to have a roadmap, but then it felt really, really claustrophobic and I don't know, just stuck in a box kind of feeling where like, okay, so this is what we're doing for the next year. We're not chasing the rabbit anymore. We're not trying to find what we think is cool first and see where it leads us. That's how we worked before in the beta stage. Is always trying to chase the feeling of, is this cool or not cool? And as soon as you put a label on it and put it in a category, it feels very cramped, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think not that I'm absolutely not attacking whoever's idea it was to make the roadmap, but I do feel like the roadmap was probably like somewhat harmful to you as a studio almost in regards to the development, especially with, you guys having to come in a few months later and say, all right, guys, look, we're sorry, but because of because of the success and because of all the bugs that have risen up, we've had to delay things and cancel other things and stuff like that. And I feel like that must have been really tough for you to actually come out and say and be honest about, I imagine.
I think it kind of was, but I think it was kind of like the normal thing to do when you release a game is to like push out a schedule or a roadmap of what you intend to do now, henceforth. And I think we never worked like that before, and it was weird, and like it's good to have a bigger picture plan, obviously. And I still think that a lot of the things that are on that list is still coming. It's just not in that order. So it'll still be there's still time. We can still do it.
But I also feel like the Hearth and Home update ended up being very different to what it sounded like on the roadmap, because the Hearth and Home update on the roadmap sounded like very specifically one thing, but what the update ended up being is it felt like it was parts of Cult of the Wolf, and it felt like it was parts of Hearth and Home and parts of things that weren't even on the roadmap, all amalgamated into one update.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, that's why we don't like to put it in categories, because we like to try to I don't know, just explore and see where it leads us. We knew that we had to rebalance the food and rebalance a lot of weapons, but then we found all these different things that we could actually put into the package and make it better and more deep, so to say. And if we, I mean, oh yeah, exactly. That's what do you say, Jonathan?
Yeah, I think that like not being part of Hearth and Home for the whole development, of course, but from what I've gathered, I think it's been a very good learning experience. Just like, of course, the whole matter of I mean, from release to the release, from the first early access release to the release of Hearth and Home, I mean, it was a roller coaster for a lot of different reasons, and at the same time being like having this internal pressure of having to release the next thing on the roadmap, and people are like waiting for that to happen. I think it will be a lot more easy, like it'll be a lot more fun for us to work on things now, and I think that everybody has like landed in how we will be developing things in an easier way, and be able to release things faster, be more transparent, things like that. So hopefully, I mean, and hopefully that will result in that people are happier with the development updates.
Because that's also something that we have struggled a lot with since early access, is how transparent do we want to be, and are we spoiling anything by showing stuff, and how much do we want to show, and which specific things do we never want to show. And that took us quite a while to figure that out, how we want to actually go ahead and do these things.
Yeah,
But I
that's
think
also, I mean, a challenge without that I mean, I'm not sure we still have decided exactly, but like we're discussing this, like how detailed patch logs are we supposed to release?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people want to see, okay, they want a list of everything, but then in a way we're really spoiling everything, and there's not enough interesting things to make, like say YouTube follow-ups on. So I mean, personally, as a player, if I haven't beat a game completely, I would not really read the patch log. I'd rather explore everything by myself. But then again, if it's a game like say Hades or Dota, where you're looking for balance updates and changes and like what can I change in my build and things like that, then it is very nice to have a extremely detailed patch log with like how it was before, how it is now, why did we rework everything. But that is also like what people might not think is that it's a lot of work to put together and keep track of all the changes that we make, because we can make a lot of changes forwards and back. We make a change, a balance change, we have a playtest, we change it back again. Things are moved around a lot. So I mean, it would be somebody's a pretty big responsibility just to keep track of everything that's changed since the last update.
Hence the word tweak.
Yes.
Tweaks come into play.
Yeah, like a lot of the lines in the patch log, they're like, tweaked this. And that's like actually a whole lot of things behind that. Because partly like we don't have an exact list, partly because we don't actually want to spoil what it is. We'd rather see people explore, try it.
A lot of the things, like what I appreciated when early access came out, was looking at videos on YouTube and visiting people on streams, and just seeing the surprise and sheer terror, like sailing the seas, meeting a serpent, meeting a troll for the first time, having a troll like wander into meadows and bash your base. All these things are like such a surprise. It would be, for me, it would be a little bit hurtful to my experience if I read that, okay, trolls, there are trolls in the games, there are sea serpents in the game, there are flying pizza bakers in the game. But I don't know. Maybe we should just have like the log, so you can just hide it.
Yeah.
Or something.
I mean.
Yeah.
As a player, I love discovery, and in fact, I think one of the things that made me fall in love with Valheim straight off of the bat was that constant discovery, constant learning things, constantly exploring and being surprised by things, and it was incredible to do. And I think that is part of what makes Valheim so great, you know, and the negative to that is, in my position as a content creator, I love patch notes, because I can dive in and go, I'll make a video on that, I'll make a video on that, I'll make a video on that. That will be really cool to work out if there's some structural changes now and stuff like that, right? So it's almost like me as a player doesn't want patch notes. Me as a content creator really wants patch notes.
Yeah.
That's interesting, actually, because we had a content creator that told us, like, we're actually glad that you don't make detailed patch notes, because then we have things that we need to make videos out of, and people are more interested in looking at them. So it's good that it's not. I mean,
it's an interesting point.
It's so much both ways, because it's like trying to please. But as me as a player, I would like to know if my spear, which is my favorite weapon, if that got changed. I want to know how much it went up or how much it went down. I wouldn't want to know. I wouldn't like to read that it has been tweaked. And I wouldn't like, and I'm so allergic to the word buff and nerf.
Yeah.
As everyone at the office knows that I sneeze when I hear that word. But yeah, it's difficult to find a good phrasing or a good way to show it. I think when 1.0 drops, I think we can be more clear with that. But right now, as it's in just early access, I'm not sure how much. We need details, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. it's a tough spot to be in. I completely get that. I think you're right. I think balance changes, like specifically, because I think that's the best way to describe it. And I hope you're not allergic to the word balance, but like balance changes, especially when it comes to things like weapons and the like, are really good information to have. Especially as I think there are some communities and some groups that are now starting, especially to look into what has been maybe not something that's been explored so much in Valheim so much, which is the PvP aspect of it. I know, like Grim, you got to witness
Yep.
the fight, and you also know that we're planning on, like, or we're currently preparing a big PvP tournament in Valheim with exterior sponsors and the like, and all of this, and so for from that perspective, like, and PvP, knowing the weapon balance changes as they happen is very, very important, because it can be the difference between a win or a loss in the arena. But I almost would say, like, it is limited to that, in that I don't want to know about the spooky new thing you've put into X place that is going to scare the ever-living crap out of me when I first see it and start running away like a little sissy girl. You know, the first time I encountered growths, that was a fun experience. Oh, it was such a good experience.
I'm so happy now.
Like, it was just when I first got hit by the tar, and then I couldn't move, and then got hit by all the other tar balls, and suddenly realized that they're actually machine gun blobs and not just like ranged. Oh, it was scary, and it was wonderful, and it was an incredible experience, and I loved it. And so, like, yeah, I mean, like, even though I'd read about growths, I didn't know enough about them from what I'd read to spoil anything when I actually did encounter them the first time, which was great.
And that's a good thing, I guess. But like, it's also really difficult because, like, for example, the growths, they are gatekeepers of a very valuable resource for the builders, for example. So it has been tricky trying to make a good balance between the explore part, the building, and the reward that you get from doing that specific thing. I like it, but I'm a hardcore player, so I don't know. I guess a lot of people dislike growths because they are gatekeepers, but I haven't read so much about it, or that many comments about that.
I think you guys made a decision with the growths, which was an interesting decision, and a decision that sparked up a lot of debate amongst at least my community, in making them enemies of the other plains creatures. So as a builder, I very quickly discovered that I could get the Fuelings and the Loxes and the Death Skeetos and stuff and the growths to all just kill each other, and then I've got a nice safe plains for the next 20 minutes or so to just sort out the tar. And that was a really fun experience, like realizing that I could I could shoot an arrow at Lox and run it over to the growths, and then they'd fight each other, and you know, I could rinse and repeat until I was safe without a huge amount of risk to myself, you know, other than trying to run very fast and avoid the tar shots.
I think that's one of the more fun parts of Valheim. I think when you can go in to a specific area and feel smart about, and like feel clever about pitting different creatures against each other, and you just go in and reap the rewards. So that was I like doing that. It's one of my more favorite things to do in planes, and also it makes me feel safe as long as they're not shooting at me. Like, okay, take out that camp. Yes.
Yeah. Also, I know Smithy and Grim, you know this, but I run with a difficulty mod that basically unlocks higher stars of creatures. So that things can spawn with 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. 5-star growths are terrifying.
Oh, I bet they are.
They have the same sort of health pool as like like more health than a Lox. And they jump at you, and they're huge, and their tar does so much damage, and it's honestly the worst. But I love that at the same time, you know.
That sounds fun. Is that Darkheim or no?
No, Darkheim is still dead at the moment, unfortunately, because I haven't gotten around to updating all the config files for Hearth and Home update. But yeah, Darkheim was the ultimate difficulty mod pack that I made, which is a whole selection of mods. And I didn't make any of the mods myself, but I made the mod pack.
Did you do the Darkheim?
Darkheim was me, yeah. Darkheim was me.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
right. Because that's the only mod that I know about, which I was interested in as well.
Yeah.
So
you need to talk
congratulations, you have-
to Smith. He really loves mods.
I do love
yeah.
mods as long as don't break.
Yeah.
Please make mods that don't break. Hashtag update soon, gonna break all them again.
Oh no. Yeah,
I mean that's a cycle of that's a cycle of a
Yes.
game that is in development. Of course, we're gonna break
100%.
stuff. So fix them.
So while we're on the topic, actually, because this is something very that a lot of people, especially in my community and also I think in the Valheim community completely, are very passionate about. You know, when Valheim dropped, and I know that you guys have sort of like gone back on this and softened your words, but when Valheim dropped, you sort of I say you, I'm saying you as a studio, came out and were quite clear on that, like, we aren't officially supporting mods. We're not, like, so you went down that route of like of not being the word I'm looking for is sort of like accommodating. That's the word, accommodating towards mods. But you know, that was your standpoint when the game first launched into early access, and I know that you've kind of softened on that and gone back on it. But do you think that an official sort of mod support, like a Valheim like launcher where you can actually select your mods and stuff, is something that might happen in the future? I'm not asking for any promises or anything. I'm just sort of like gauging like how you guys feel about it.
I think this is a more question for Jonathan, but I know from Richard's standpoint, it's like during early access, we really don't see a valid point in trying to accommodate that side as well. It's the same as like for the console ports as well. It'll just give us more work and probably more headache, and we would rather just try to finish the game instead of try to side grade at the same time. I have no idea if it's even possible, because I that's, like I said, it's more of a question for Jonathan. But from Richard, I think he wants to just focus on pushing out the content that we want to create first.
Yeah, I would say I agree with what you say. The thing is, as anybody who works on mods or game development knows, like, if we want to have official support for mods, that means a lot of functionality that we need to maintain alongside just maintaining a game that's already played by a lot of different players, and just building on that without breaking the current game and people's current worlds as much as possible is enough for such a small studio. Like, it would be different if we were a big studio and we could have several, like, one or two guys just sitting and building the mod support. But at the moment, I think, like you said, I mean, I think Richard mostly wants to focus on finishing the current, like, his vision of the game. But with that said, I know that, like, I mean, the game is moddable because he did take the decision that we're not gonna, like, obfuscate the code to make it very hard to mod. Like, it is fairly open for modders to go in and inject code wherever they feel they want to. But if we wanted to say officially support mods, we'd have a whole the rest of the development would go a whole lot slower at the moment. So yeah, I mean, it's moddable at the moment, but you'll have to count on things breaking for each update, since the mods are basically mostly relying on injecting code and changing Unity files. So yeah. And I can say, just like personal, these are not in. I'm not sure exactly what parts of what our answers are official answers and just us talking crap. But like, I'm actually from a modder background a long time ago, so, like, in principle, I would definitely support it. I think mods are a great way for players to build on games and make them into even better games. I mean, it's really it's a good way to start game development. Like, I mean, when I play a game, I'm always, even if I want to or not, I'm playing it and I'm thinking like, oh, I'd like to change this. I think this would be a better game if they had this aspect, or like they made a few bad decisions in this game. And like in the back of my head, I'm already like redesigning the game. And if I had a line of clones, I'd mod most games. I think.
Yeah.
So I think that, I mean, and especially this type of game works, like it would be a very good game that could utilize, like, since it's really a really big sandbox that could be modded in very many interesting ways. So I hope that we will have better support for it in the future than we have today.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and your responses make absolute sense. And frankly, yeah, Valheim is incredibly easy to mod, and that is a blessing. It really is. It's very easy to get in there and do kind of whatever you want. Part of it being that it's due to being a Unity game with BepInEx support, and BepInEx just makes life very easy for modders. And on top of it, yeah, you didn't obfuscate anything, or as far as I know, anything that doesn't need to be obfuscated for obvious reasons.
Wow. My
So,
life sucks.
I think what's interesting is we have a member of our team actually working currently on a proper mod launcher, with like mod packs built in stuff. So people will be able to create mod packs with like all of the config files and the YAMLs and the like, and people would be able to literally just click that mod pack, such as Darkheim and stuff, and it will just automatically load everything at a click of a button, and boom, you can then play that mod pack. And then the same, you can remove it, you can change it, you can add a couple of mods in here, remove them when you want, sort of thing. Essentially, yeah, we wanted a mod launcher, and we didn't expect you guys to make one soon. I kind of figured it would be for the reason that you've already explained, in that you guys, it would add to your workload way too much, and it makes sense to wait until a 1.0 release where you can
if I could make a suggestion, or at least something that we would love if there was a launcher like that. If you had like a really big problem we have is that a lot of mods, they really break the game, especially when there are updates, and a lot of mods are actually really difficult to remove. So if this launcher had like say that every mod that it could install had like every mod had said which version it supports, and then when a new version is, say, if the game updates, the launcher will automatically, when you start the game, say like, oh, these mods are not currently supported, these need to be disabled, or your game will be broken. And then as soon as they're updated, then they can be played again. I think that would be a great addition. Not only, it would lighten our load of work a lot, not having to sift through tons of bug reports that probably are due to people having mods. A lot of the time, they don't even know that they have mods and things like that. So I think that would be a great...
that would be great. I think Smith would be a bit quieter in the morning as well.
Oh, I mean, I used to have so much fun talking to Mix One and the Valheim Plus dev team every time we put out a update. He was like, "Oh, update! I'm gonna wait for Mix One for like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, there's the PM. Hi, Mix One." And he used to be one of them. That guy is really nice to talk to, and he's so happy about the game. And I think he used to be the lead developer of just Valheim Plus.
I think he was on the team. Yeah, I've had a lot of communication with him as well. I believe he was part of the team of the Valheim Plus team. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like kids and family right now focus. But it was so nice to talk to him, because they always were like open, like, yeah, we're having this issue, and could you look at this, or could you like explain that, or can we like help you guys some way? So it's really nice talking to the modding community instead of talking to the people who uses the mods, because some people who uses the mods say like, yeah, mod developers carries your game, compared to the people who does the mods to say like, yeah, we love you, please give us more stuff so we can mod it. They just love modding everything we put in.
Just an answer there I see in the chat here. Delilah Eve said that not each mod needs to be updated, and that's very true. But it would be good that each mod is confirmed working. Just like when we build things, we try to test it very thoroughly to make sure that it didn't break too many other things. If you're building a mod, it would be great. Like even though this mod might not break, when there's an update, if you just probably what you've changed and go through and test everything that it might have changed, test scenarios like around that or things that you might not be sure. Like if you're in the code, you probably can figure out and you can see where is this code being used. Just try to look around, and then when you realize, okay, I think this is working now, then just update it to be confirmed working. And I think that's really what would be missing.
Yeah.
And really helpful in a launcher like that. So you could have a list of all mods, and then you can be like, this is confirmed working on Hearth and Home or version 16 or whatever.
I think yeah. So Delilah is the person who's working on this launcher at the moment. Incredibly talented full stack developer, and an awesome member of the Valheim community. I think essentially, what we would require is for if the launcher got popular enough that modders were kind of understood, then we could definitely create a relationship with the modders where they would be able to confirm with us whether it's, because at the moment we essentially the plan is that we use, because Thunderstore has the way it works is that the launcher just points to the download from Thunderstore, so that we don't actually have to have any specific rights for the launcher for the downloads of someone else's property, essentially, right? So, and I don't believe Thunderstore has a way to make a compatibility check yet. But if the launcher were to get popular enough that the modders were keen for it, their mods to be specifically on or validated by the launcher, then yes, that would absolutely be something that we could do, and yeah, I think would be great. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, if you just have a small web interface somewhere where, in the launcher you'd have confirmed supported mods, confirmed on the latest version, and then confirmed broken also would be great to have. And also a list of unknown status. And I mean, all mods would be unknown in the beginning, and then of course modders might be interested to know, okay, I want to be on the supported list, so my mod is updated, and then they just go in and send that information to you, or just depending on how your system works, or if there's included a file that just says compatibility or something, where they just themselves just write this version is supported or not. I think that would help.
Yeah, no, definitely something that we will try to make happen, because I personally completely agree with you, and I think it'd be great. So that's going on the list.
But do you guys work with Nexus mods as well?
We don't like Nexus mods.
Okay.
They have. I don't know how familiar you are with Nexus mods. I think Jonathan will probably be familiar with this drama, but Nexus mods have tried to essentially bully modders into ownership issues where Nexus mods actually own the IP of people's mods instead of the modders themselves.
Okay.
And because of that drama, yeah, but because of all that drama and all of that sort of, we ideally want to work with Thunderstore only. But yeah.
Too bad if you grow too big and get what is it called, hybris.
Yeah.
It's basically the Skyrim, there's a lot of people modding Skyrim. Let's earn money on that. Now you can buy mods. That was a really popular thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, I'm impressed at all the work that must have gone into that. I don't know, for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, there was this big Steam update where now you can buy mods on Steam for Skyrim, and there was a whole system for it, and everybody rebelled, and then basically, I don't know if it took a day or something, and then just threw it all away.
Yeah.
They realized this was a bad move. Back up. Try
it was with the launch of the special edition, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it could have been.
Yeah. No, I remember the drama behind that massively. But I think the thing is that It's so hard to earn money from mods legitimately because because of essentially like legalities and IPs and all that sort of things. Developers, I mean, essentially developers get the final word, or should I say publishers get the final word. Um, because a publisher can essentially allow, or a publisher and developer together can allow or disallow a modder's ability to earn money from the mods of their game, because essentially at the end of the day, it's the developer / publisher who own those rights, and the modder, like, it would be very, very hard for the modder to fight in a court of law that they own the rights to their mod when technically their mod is still using so much of the code that was made by the developer,
Yeah, of course.
So,
and I think like even in this case, like a lot of the modders were against monetizing on mods because that sort of defeats the whole idea. Like then you'll have these ultra AAA mods earning money, and then everybody else will just be in the backdrop, not earning any money. So
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sure, but couldn't you like basically use a Patreon? That would work, wouldn't it? Or
Yep, Patreon. And I think there are modders that are also content creators that do that sort of thing, and they'll like stream their coding and stuff on Twitch and provide things like additional things through Patreon and stuff. I believe the only issue with Patreon is that you can't, if you only allow people to get your mods through Patreon and don't allow them to get it through a free source, then technically it counts as a paid mod, and then it becomes an IP issue and stuff. But
yeah, exactly, and you should never do that. I mean, I think the way to go is always like offer everything for free, and then just like have a small disclaimer somewhere saying like, thank you for trying this, and it's definitely free. But if you feel like supporting me, just click this link or whatever.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. No, I completely agree. But yeah, I think modding in Valheim has already been incredibly exciting, and is going to continue to be incredibly exciting. I have so many ideas for like series that I want to run, that will require like specific like special mods to run. To give just a quick example, I'm planning, or I have written down and planned for a while now, a Nomad series where as soon as you step foot, so you have like a houseboat style thing. So you have a boat that you can build a forge on and all of that on and everything to sail across the ocean, and then there's your home. And as soon as you step foot on land, you get a 10-minute countdown. And if that 10-minute countdown hits 0 and you're still on land, you should immediately get whipped back to your boat. And that's going to be a fun little sort of like challenge mode, because I love doing challenges in Valheim. I've done permadeath, I've done hardcore, I've done this, that, or the other. It's great fun, and so I'm constantly thinking of new ways to add challenges to Valheim and do challenging things, and mods just make that so easy, really. But enough talk about mods. That's a lot of talk about mods. I wanted to ask you guys, especially Jonathan and Smithy, and to be fair, Grim as well on this. Like the new hires thing was definitely, it was something talked about a lot by the community. Because obviously the uneducated of us, which does include me as well, look at a development studio and go, wow, they have just sold so many copies and made so much money. And then they sort of spend 2 months and go, they still haven't hired anyone new, right? And obviously there's so much more to it than just that. But obviously from an uneducated standpoint, you're like, well, what are they doing? What are they doing? So I completely understand, like, to preface what I'm saying, that as a small studio with a very distinct vision, you have to be incredibly careful with who you hire, because they have to fit the team, they have to fit the vibe, and you don't want them derailing what is planned and seen. But how did that new hire process go for bringing on the new members of the team? I guess is what I'm asking.
Okay, so first off, we had a contract with the Coffee Stain to release an early access game, which we did. But then the whole process took a lot longer time, not just because of all the bugs and everything. Okay, so when we blew up, there was a bit like a huge flood of bugs coming in. So apparently our little slice of beta testers weren't enough, which took a lot of time. But then, I mean, just for getting the money from Steam took us maybe 3 months before we even saw any money at all. And that had to go through publishers and through Steam and everything. I mean, so technically we couldn't even. We were living on borrowed money from day one when we released early access. I remember we were sending out a lot of applications. You could apply for working at our studio very early, but it was also trying to manage the time to just take the time and read all the all the applications that we got in. That took a lot of time. I don't know when did we even reply to you, Jonathan?
Yeah, that's I'd have to check that out. But like I said, there was at least 3 times where I was like, okay, I haven't gotten a reply for a long time now, so I'm sure that they that they found somebody else. But it was probably a month or so from the first email I sent, I think.
Because we did make sure to answer every single one, and everyone who wanted feedback on their portfolios or the things that they sent in, we gave feedback on that as well. Maybe it was a bit overdoing it, but
Wow.
I don't know. It took us a while to get down to narrowing it down to like three people. I remember like when we were talking to Smith, it was like a Monday or something. You and I started talking about you actually trying to get work. And was it? Well, I think it was on like a Friday. you got accepted or something?
I think we talked on Monday. I talked to Rich Devoid and HT on Friday, and then it took like I think it actually took 1 or 2 weeks. Could be just 1 week on after they, like you guys had the discussion about hiring someone.
And just answer part of the other like the other part of the question. I think at least on my part, I'm very happy that from what I've understood, the vision of the studio is to stay very small, so that I mean, having worked in bigger studios in the past, there's a lot of good things to say about those places as well, but there is a lot of, I would say, it's not in my preference to work for a big studio with a lot of people where you basically just know like a few people sitting in close to you, and then all of a sudden they're moved around and you basically don't see them anymore. And like, yeah, I think, I mean, part of why I actually applied for this job, I was mostly because, it seems to be a small studio, and I only want to work for a small studio if I'm going to work like in game development. And I think that is part of the vision. And also like that is, I think it in many ways, like what people might not understand, like adding more people does not mean that things will go faster, especially in the beginning. Like you're adding lots of people, there's like more people with opinions, and you have to have somebody just to assign tasks and know like, okay, what are we supposed to work on? Those decisions need to be made. You need to have like managers and in between people just to handle people. So I would say like at least for the first year of development, like if you want to see the maximum number of updates and things happen, you don't want a studio that succeeds like this just to like hire 20 people immediately, because then like it'll go very slow for anything to happen, and there's a large part that something will just blow up, and and like the team will break down. So I think like from what I've heard, the most important part of the hires was that find people who fit like personality-wise into the team.
Oh, that was priority number one. I remember we were talking like, and that's always been something we, for Lisa, for Eric, for everyone. The number one priority is, can we sit down and have a coffee together? If that's not possible, you're not working here.
Oh,
You can't just
for
sit
sure,
down.
for
Because that's
sure.
a lot of the ideas and a lot of the inspiration. It just comes from sitting in the coffee room, just having a chat. Like Jonathan had really cool ideas, which I'm still into.
Good, sounds good.
But it's just so much about being able to pull your load together with other people and just talk about it and not be be friends about it. And I don't know, you can't have too much of a big ego working at Iron Gate because you won't get that far.
Like if you, I've read a few like biographies from some big successful companies, and if you look at them, like what they say that what do they have in common? Like usually it's not about getting really, I mean, not necessarily being about getting the best programmer or the best most acclaimed director or whatever. It's more about finding the right people.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, that also like strengthens the feeling of like, okay, they seem to have their priorities on the right side, because if you just grow and like how should you say, like, okay, with this kind of success, there's definitely like anybody can calculate that there's like, yeah, you could definitely hire a lot of people, which if somebody with a big Excel sheet and a nice suit wants to calculate how much money they're able to make 5 years, 10 years down the line, there's of course building a huge studio might be the right way to go. But also, I mean, you see a lot of studios they start off, they make a lot of great games and they just grow and grow and grow. And at least for me, I see a lot of those studios. I mean, great studios turning into pretty like both crappy places to work, and then turning out crappy games that you don't want to play anymore, and then eventually breaking down, or at least like turning into these big evil companies. You can say that.
Yeah, I can agree. I mean, because when you hire more people, you're gonna have more mouths to feed, if you know what I mean. And then you need more money, and then you need to start having deadlines. So you can meet quotas, so you can meet like, yeah, we need this DLC out, we need these clotheslines out, so people can buy the stuff. We need this merch out, so people can get money, so we can get money, so we can get stockholders happy. And then it's gonna be money, 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 and then goes all the creative thinkings out of the window, because we don't have time for that funny thing. And everyone's gonna be either like, okay, money, 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 and all the people being creative gonna like, okay, fuck this shit, I don't want to be here anymore, this is not the fun studio that I wants to work for.
And
I
also,
remember
go
when
ahead.
back in the day before early access, it was me, Richard, and Henrik. I was always in at 8 o'clock in the morning. Came in, put on some coffee, sat down, and like 8:15, Richard would come in, and we'd also every day we'd sit down and just talk about Valheim for like maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hour or something. Every day we would do that. Like, what else could be cool? What could we do together? And just the feeling that you're not just a cog in a big machine, that you're actually contributing with your ideas and everything. And even if it doesn't end up sticking to what Valheim becomes, it's so nice to be able to talk about an idea and just sit down and talk. And I think that disappears a lot if the company is too big, because I do want to hear what Smith has to say about certain things, and I do want to hear what Jonathan has to say. And a lot of those things will disappear if we get to like 50 people, which I really don't hope. Like maybe 50 people. If no, retracting that. No, 50 people.
No, retract that. I'd say like a much smaller number. I think like this might be.
I was gonna say 2 teams though. I was gonna divide it in Iron Gate north and west, or south and east.
I was gonna say also, I think one reason also is that this might be just a gut feeling that I have. Like, I think a reason is that Richard wouldn't want to grow too much. Like, I'm not going to put words in his mouth, so this is a guess. But I think he's a little bit like me. Like, even if you're very successful, I mean, I would still want to be able to sit and actually work on the game and make code and spend a day just coding, not having to make lots and lots of decisions. Like, everything still has to go through him. Like, I mean, we do things autonomously, but of course it's still his project, and he has to be able to sign off on things. So enough things are already going through him, and I think that adding more people would eventually just make him unable to actually code or work on the game. He'd just
Absolutely.
be like an administrator, and I don't think he'd want that.
And I remember the day. I don't actually remember the exact day, but I remember a day where we had so many meetings every day, and there was a point where we're gonna have a meeting tomorrow about having less meetings, and I was like, okay, we have gone too far now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember it was it like April or May, perhaps, might be you, and when he said like, yep, no more morning meetings every day. We can do it every other day. So
Yeah,
Tuesday and Thursday, no meetings. No meetings. I don't want no meetings. No, those days.
yeah,
Nope,
exactly. It
nope,
was
nope.
no meeting Tuesday and no meeting Wednesday. I remember was working on the trailer with Brick during that time. I was like, I really do have to have a meeting with them on Wednesday though, because they need some art direction on this scene over there. I was like, okay, can you do it on Thursday? No, I really can't do it on the. Okay, you may for this time.
Yeah, no, that. It honestly it's really nice to hear, and thank you guys for being so open about sort of like the way the team works and how everything works, because I think you know, it can be very easy for people that don't understand, myself included, to look from the outside and question things because we don't know them, right? And we don't understand the environment, and we don't, XYZ. And so it's just really, really awesome to like hear from you guys, like actually what it's like, and have reasonings sort of like brought to light so that we can understand and relate and be excited about it like just as much, and I think that's really, really awesome. So thank you for that a lot.
And I think that also, like, I don't think there's anyone in the developer team who actually would say no to someone coming with a good idea from the community as well. As long as like it's not you should do this because this is bad or this is useless. I mean, we do listen a lot, and I think we try to listen because we want people to know what's going on. We want to be able to share that. I mean, I've answered so many people on Discord, like, is this coming? It's like, I can't talk about that, but something is in the works. I mean, it's easy to contact us if people know where we are.
Yeah.
I think most of us try to answer as honest and sincere as we can. It's just difficult to reach everyone when there's like 7 million players.
For sure, and it's a really tough one as well, because, and I'm sure you guys have found this, that in most of the time the people that are on your Reddit and the people that are in your Discord are the vocal minority and not the majority of the players, if that makes sense. So it can be very, very tough for you guys, and I understand this very much so from my standpoint as well, that it can be hard to listen when the only people that are listening are a minority that are of one extreme or another or something, right? And actually the decision that they're trying to get you to make is actually not the decision that the large majority of the rest of the player base wants, but they're not the people that are speaking up. So I can 100% understand like how difficult it is, for you guys to listen and take feedback on, but also have to like take it with a pinch of salt and the like. And I have, I've been sort of, not that I think that I can, but because of my love and my passion for the game and for you guys as a studio, I've constantly been thinking about ways to like help you guys communicate with the community, and be able to get your information across without, but while still being able to not censor it, but control what information is getting out, right? And I think the fireside chat that you guys had in the run up to Hearth and Home was incredible. I really enjoyed that. And it was the kind of communication that I personally have kind of been seeking from you guys ever since the launch of the game as a player, you know. And so that was really, really awesome and really refreshing and very cool. And I feel like if we like almost, and I understand that anything like that takes time out of your guys' days, right? And the more time that you take out of your guys' days to make people happy or to make people content as the months go by is less time that you have to actually work on the game and the like, right? And while we're talking about that, thank you for taking time out of your own personal lives to do this as well, because I think it's important that
I'm not working now.
Yeah. I really, I think it's important that everybody realizes that you guys are not on the clock right now, and you've come to do this out of like, a passion for your own work, your own jobs, and a desire to communicate and stuff. And I think that's really important for people to realize and appreciate. But I think it'd be like really like that fireside chat that you guys, if you could have like a just a monthly video, maybe not to the same extent of that, but like a quick just sort of like studio update sort of video, like not making any promises or anything, but saying, hey, this is what we're working on, these are some difficulties we've run into recently, and just a little bit of kind of very open communication that doesn't make promises, doesn't raise expectations, but is just a really chill sort of the devs and the community sort of like like a bit of communication. I and again, this is just a personal opinion, it's not, but I think that could be really, really cool, and I think very refreshing and enjoyable for a lot of the community.
I have two things to just add to that, what you just said, and one is, I think it's very important, at least for me, I cannot live if there's no difficulty. I like that we have something to strive for, that there are difficulties, that there are things that we need to overcome. Without that, it's pointless for me to work anywhere, I think. So right now it's just trying to get through this, this chapter of what Valheim is, and try to come out winning, or at least on top of things. And with that being said, like, we had, like, me and Richard, when we were doing the pre-fireside, the 1 minute update things, what do we call them? I don't remember, what do we call them? The 1 minute thingies.
Yeah, no, I know what you're referring to. Yeah.
Yeah. Because me and Richard, we were coming in.
Wasn't it spotlights or something like
the spotlights?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spotlights.
Oh yeah,
Videos.
the short community spotlights that Monty did, I suppose.
So me and Richard, we were both super anti this in the beginning. We were like, 1 minute, just 1 minute, but all the things that we have done, all the things that we changed, is that enough with 1 minute? The big reason behind that was because it was something with Instagram or something, 1 minute thing.
Yeah.
But it ended up being very short and concise and keeping people's attention, at least. I think it was nice to do the fireside chat. I would love to do more fireside chats with the whole group instead. Like have everyone in the team just sitting around the fire. Or the battle plan chat, where we sit around a table and talk about future battle plans. Would be cool. No, but yeah, without difficulties, like the chapter that we're going through right now is difficult for everyone, but the only way we'll get forward is just marching on.
Yeah.
And doing what we can. I mean, obviously, if we could make Valheim ready 1.0 tomorrow, and we got all the ideas that we wanted to have in it, you'd have Valheim tomorrow, obviously. But like I said in the fireside chat, I think we have to walk the path and see where it leads, or we might lose something on the way.
Yeah, 100%, and yeah, it's good insights. Quick side note: is the rest of the world pronouncing Valheim wrong, or is it just the Swedish accent? Because I noticed that all the developers say Valheim, and the rest of the world says Valheim, and
it's Valheim.
Okay, so the rest of the world is pronouncing it wrong, basically.
Yeah, it's
All right. From now on, I will make a conscious effort to call it Valheim, and see
it's
if I
okay
can.
though.
I think
Yeah.
the English language is like impossible to a lot of Nordic words are not really impossible to pronounce in the proper way in English.
Yeah, just what is the name, Timo? What is the name of the bird in the game? That's one of the harder ones for
Oh,
people.
I want to hear this one. What's the
Yes.
name of the bird? The crow, the raven.
What, Hugin?
Oh, that's
Ooh,
not so bad. That's pretty good.
it's not even hugging.
No, I mean,
I heard.
I
Hugin.
Potions are too strong for you, traveler.
I'm
Hugin.
like slightly, like, so my heritage is Finnish, so I wouldn't ever claim to be a proper Scandi, but I do kind of. There's a little bit there. There's something there. So I can generally get pronunciations not right, but closer to correct than normal, I would say. But
How about the green creatures in plains? Can you pronounce them?
Dance,
What, fooling?
dice. Good.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
good.
That's
Fooling.
good.
yeah,
Do you know what it means though?
no, I just always assumed it meant goblin.
No, it actually means ugly.
Yeah, ugly
Oh,
one.
okay.
So they're basically just uglies running around.
Small uglies.
Small little uglies with a maniacal laugh.
Yes. That laugh is iconic. Absolutely iconic. What was the other thing? I had two tiny little things, and now I've forgotten what the other one was. I'm sure it'll come back to me.
Not the one where people asking who made the locks riding thing.
Oh yeah, the locks riding thing. Yes, who made the saddles and the locks riding mechanic? Because people have been having a lot of fun with that.
All right, so you want to hear the whole story? It was a day in beta, and me and Henrik was sitting in the same room. Richard had his own little office, and then one day he came in and said, "We need a trader." So we started working on making the trader. We wanted someone to sell some items, and we felt like the whole location was a bit empty. So we started working on designs for a creature, our own little creature, which was a mix between a bear and a moose. And it looked so horrible that we couldn't keep it. It was like, what is it? What even is this? It's a bear body with a moose head. It looked weird. Then Henrik says like, oh, what if it's a lizard instead, like a very furry lizard? I was like, oh, nice, a lizard. Oh, that would be cool. Oh, it could be the body of an ox or something. And then the lizard ox, the lox was born. So Haldor got his first animal called Halstein at the location, and it was really simple. It didn't have any walking animations or anything at all. It was just gonna stand there and eat from a big bucket of stuff. But then later that summer, we had just released. Oh, we were going to release the PC Gamer. We were recording the trailer for the PC Gamer. What was it? PC Gamer something. But as we were working on that, Richard had an idea. Wouldn't it be cool to have the locks? We were always talking about like having loxes in planes. That would be cool, but we didn't have any animations for that. So I redid the locks, and when I was doing doing the locks again, I was like, it would be cool to ride on the locks. So I attached like a specific joint to it called the mount. And just before going on summer vacation, I said to Richard, like, if you're working this summer, like Richard was working and still is working every day, like even if he goes home from the office, he still works in the evenings. He's constantly at work. But I told him, like, if you're not doing anything, I made a locks and a saddle and like armor and a big banner. So it was completely different from what it looks like right now. But it had like a big banner and it had big shields and it was much more armory in the beginning. So I was like, here's a locks and you can ride it. And the animations are working for it as well. And then 1 year later, we knew we wanted to put in Loxes. No, we wanted to put in rideable animals. And
My
we were
passion
having the
got too
Reddit
strong for
AMA,
you, traveler.
and internally we were discussing like, no, we won't be able to make the writing work for players for Hearth and Home. So I was like, I'm sorry, but there won't be any Loxes, rideable Loxes for Hearth and Home. But just as one does, if you are a man named Richard, you wake up on a Monday morning and decide like, I want to ride Loxes. So he put that together in a few days.
Really, just a few days.
Yeah, that's the
Wow.
weird thing about that. When he goes into like the Matrix mode, he just gets stuff done. That's really cool. But yeah, it took about 9 months for it to like sit and marinate rideable Loxes, but eventually we got them.
Yeah, because one of the modders in my team found like code relating to the saddle, like prior to Hearth and Home, and so we always knew that something was gonna come. We had no idea when and no idea how it was gonna be. And then when it did cut out, it was so good. It's so good. Real quick question on that front. What made you decide to go against the design decision you've made everywhere else and allow Loxes to be ridden while over encumbered? Because everything else doesn't let you.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I just think that's something Richard missed, to be honest, and we don't really have a good fix for it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those like, oh, it's okay, it's fine, just it works, it's okay. And I don't think we actually tried it.
I mean, it is a big animal, so it should be able to take it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes.
I mean
we could revert. We could do something so stopping everyone from doing that. Is that what you're saying? You don't want it?
No, I actually really like it.
Okay, Timo, I understand.
But now we have to take it away from you because you said it.
We'll include it in the patch logs. Timo complained that this is unrealistic,
exactly.
so
we're gonna call it a Timo fix.
Timo fix.
Oh no.
And we're gonna just put your Twitch that like complaints go to Timo.
Oh, my career would be over. It would be over.
Or you can have a lot of people watching your stuff.
But yeah, no, I do like it. I like it. I like that you can't be. I like that you can't like pilot a ship overweight and stuff. But I actually like that you can ride a Lox overweight. I actually think that even though that it's not a design decision, I actually thought it was a good design decision based on my ignorance of not knowing it was one. Because I thought, oh, it makes sense. The Lox is a very big animal, clearly very strong. We currently don't have like a proper like inventory system for the Loxes. So it makes a lot of sense and it works really well and I like it. So yeah, I thought it was a great decision, and it's wonderful for like transporting large amounts of ore from one side to, if you have a large base, and I'm prone to having large bases, Loxes make it very, very nice to transport large loads of things from one place to another place, and I think that's really cool.
I mean, obviously, if we do add like Lox carts or Lox saddle bags, we will probably disable that you can't be overburdened and run around on your Lox as well.
Which would make absolute sense.
Something, yeah. But that's something we'll deal with when we get there. Mm-hmm. Have fun riding with them. Until then, I mean, Timo, threatening.
Yeah, I haven't tried what happens if you accidentally have like 0.1 stamina and then you start riding, and then like if you get stuck or something, if you can, I think you can still chuck things from your inventory, right? So you don't get like stuck on it, because that would be sad.
I'm not sure. I think I've checked.
I didn't understand. Come again?
No, what I'm thinking is, can you get off the Lox when you're riding it if you're over encumbered and you have like 0 stamina? I suppose you can still stand up and throw things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's no
So-
reason
so
you
it-
couldn't get off it. So I'm
Yeah,
sure you can.
yes, hope so. So it's not an issue. That
I
means
think
can
when
have.
we realized that happened, that was the case. In a way, it's not a game breaker either, because it's a quite late game thing to be able to access tamed locks, and it doesn't really ruin the progression of the game and using of carts and other things at the moment, even though, like Robin says, it's may very well be adjusted, buffed.
Buff, nerf,
Nerf.
adjusted, tweaked.
So I know that there is a ships update planned, and so I'm not gonna ask about it because again I don't want to like pry information about the future from you guys, or try to. That's not what this is about. But you teased us literally at the very start with the PC gaming teaser, with boats that have shields hanging off the sides of them. And as someone who loves like the Viking aesthetic and everything about, you know, like Vikingdom and going Viking, like I really want shields on my boat, really badly. How long am I gonna have to wait?
Until you know, I was talking about Richard, like he was doing the locks, the Superman thing with the locks. Until that day, but with ships.
That makes sense. Perfect answer as well.
I think the things that we're working on now is without spoiling too much, is we're working a little bit divided right now on separate things, and so we are working on Mistlands, and also we're working on things that will be coming in between Mistlands as well. So it could be in between Mistlands.
Okay.
Which doesn't say that much.
No, it doesn't. And I'm well aware beforehand that we're not talking about the future. So that thank you very much. I think I'm gonna open the floor up to Twitch chat now.
All right.
For some questions. To give them a chance to ask some questions for you. I mean, I can see one right in front of me right now. And actually, this is one I like because, interestingly, this is something that has already been modded in via one of the mods, and I've really enjoyed that aspect of that mod. Would you ever consider building a quest tool or some tool the community could use to create experiences within the Valheim world, almost like a game master aspect?
Jonathan?
Yeah, I think in in some ways, like, would we ever do this or that could be quite hard questions, because sure, like, we discuss a lot of different things, and like, we're of course not always on the same page, and in the end, I mean, it's mainly Richard and Henke who do. I mean, it's they own the project in a lot of ways, so decision-wise, it's really hard for us to say, but we can of course answer questions like, do we think this sounds cool?
Yeah, so I think,
and is it technically possible? That's more like future-wise things.
100%. And I think you know,
and
like,
also like the thing that you're asking for, I think that it's, as long as within the boundaries of, does it serve a specific purpose to complete the game or help you forward in some way, that's a very high chance that we will be putting that in. But if it's going backwards or side grading too much, I don't see us putting that in before 1.0.
Yeah. No, that's entirely fair. I think I just want to jump in right here and just sort of make a point that what I'm about to say will be at the beginning of the video of this as well, but like, everything that's said here by the developers and discussed about is that there's no, like, there should be no expectations made from any of this. This is the developers coming to communicate with us as, like, on a friendly level and just to talk. This is not a reveal of anything. This is not a discussion of the future or anything like that. So anything that is said, take it as, like, with a pinch of salt, that there is no promises being made. There is nothing to to expect from anything that's being said, really. I think that's fair, right, guys?
I hope so.
Yeah. Thanks for that. We don't want to be held responsible for what we say
Yeah.
here.
We want to keep our jobs when we come in tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. That's my main concern. No, but that being said, I think I agree with what Robin is saying. Like, even though there will be things going a little bit like here and there with updates that are coming up. The main focus is to finish, like, say, the main progression experience, I think. But one of the things that I really love about working here at Iron Gate is like how should you say? Like, people work on and discuss what they think like this would be the coolest thing to work on right now. Like you said in the beginning, like how are the schedules and things like that. But if we had tons of schedules to work on, I think we'd result on a much more boring game. And I think the development is sort of like a organic process of seeing how do people play the game, what are the suggestions coming in, and then balance that to like what is the original vision, but what would be the coolest thing to work on right now, like the Lux writing being a good example of that. Like Richard just like feeling like, oh, this is something I want to do on my vacation. By the way, could be added that I think, did you say that? Or like he having the release and everything, him going on actual vacation, what did he do on his vacation? Yeah, he built the Lux writing basically. It wasn't like, it was sort of not even gonna be in Hearth and Home, and then he's like, maybe this goes in, or should it go in? So yeah, I don't know if that answers the question, but like
yeah.
And sometimes, like Robin saying, like some things need time to curate. Is the word thinking?
Marinate in a nice salsa. It has to be very spicy and very nice.
Yeah,
I
but
love
like,
food metaphors.
I'm hungry.
Yeah,
I'm very hungry right now.
yeah, you're hungry. Well, yeah, but yeah, some things take time, and some things sometimes we can, like, anyone could suggest something, and like, nah, it's not gonna work, and then we're gonna add this and that and this, and then like, remember that thing we talked about before? Yeah, I think it might work with this thing. Yeah, you're right. And then ideas marinates over time sometimes.
Yep.
And not always is a bad idea, but it's just, it doesn't work right now with the vision of the game.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the answer for that question, by the way.
Yeah, that's the answer for a lot of things, actually. Like, if it's a cool thing, a good idea, or just like an awesome thing, we can sometimes it ends up in the game, like Lux writing.
Mostly we work with the rule of cool. If it's cool enough, we put it in.
Yeah.
So that always overweighs most of the things anyway. So if it's so just retract everything I said. Rule of cool. Next question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like, if there's anything that you really, really, really want into the game, just keep making videos and content about it and getting people to like reenact whatever it is you want to do, and then eventually it'll reach us, and we're like, that looks pretty cool. Maybe we should work on something like that.
So
yeah,
there is one thing I want you guys to put in the game, and I'm completely happy for you to slap the Timo tag on it if you want. But and I've been talking about this a lot, and I'm pretty sure, I think I've already said this to Smithy. I would love, because I know you guys have very specifically said that you want farming to still feel like a chore at all times, right? You don't want to add a system in of like automation or anything to make like farms automated or anything like that. But what I think I personally would love to see is, and I don't know how possible it is or how much work it is, but like for the amount of crops that get planted at one time to be affected by the level of the cultivator. So like a cultivator level 1 plants 1 crop. A cultivator level 2 plants a 3x3 grid of 9 crops. A cultivator level 3 plants a 5x5 grid of... The numbers are kind of irrelevant, just sort of making a point. I just think it'd be really cool to see the progression, right?
I think somebody made a very good way of suggesting that in sending a screenshot of a field of like, I don't know, 2,000 plants or something in one shot.
I remember that.
And then everybody was like, oh, Actually, maybe there would need to be an upgraded version of that or something. I mean, that's a very good way to making a point by showing like this is how some people play, and if there's a lot of people who support that, then maybe we would agree and think like, oh, it would be pretty cool to make an upgraded version of that tool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So interesting question. Yeah. So obviously I understand like to preface this question, I understand why Darkwood uses the materials that it uses and the fact that it is a plains tier resource and the like with the tar and everything, and frankly, one thing, side note, I love the fact that we have regular wood construction materials that are weatherproof. Oh my goodness, we've needed it and I love it, and I really appreciate it. But Kirovak in chat asks, why was ancient bark not used for Darkwood?
Wow.
Swamps are full of trees.
My life sucks.
And the only use that we have for them are pretty much boats and some weapon crafting. Like, was that something that went through your mind, or like, are there like plans that you can't tell us for ancient wood in the future?
No, definitely. The thing was, I started making the shingled roof around Christmas last year, just to try out a new roof, because that was something I really thought that Valheim needed before early access. And I was fiddling around with a very, very dark colored roof. And when I started talking to Richard about this, he was like, "Yo, this would be cool. Like we could put something on it, like some kind of tar, or is it paint or something? We need like a special resources. We could like lock it behind and something new, something they haven't discovered." So mostly it's locked behind that you haven't discovered it yet when you come to, like, for example, you go into the swamps. I don't think we ever did discuss using the ancient bark at all.
I remember that discussion why we didn't use ancient bark. I'm not sure if you were in that group discussion, but we had a reason though, but I can't say why. I can tell you, remember, Jonathan, later, but I remember clearly why we don't use it.
Ooh,
we have a reason.
But the thing was also that we wanted the thing that we put on the roof to be something that we could use on other parts as well. So it wouldn't just be the roof. So it would be something that you had to use for example, the decorative wall pieces and the arcs and stuff. And I'm just really happy that I got the creative, I don't know, like freedom to be able to do like the arcs, because that was something that Richard hadn't seen yet. Because I was just like making arcs and doing lots of 3D models, and like this would be cool, and a lot of them didn't end up in Hearth and Home. But I'm happy with the things that we did end up with, and it's a lot of build pieces, and it's definitely not going to be the last build update for the builders.
That makes me very happy.
But the next update is not going to be building, which makes me happy, Timo. It makes me happy.
But it's okay. It's okay. Me as a explorer and gatherer and sorter will be happy, whatever we put out, because there will always be more items to sort and new boxes to label.
Oh yeah, I'm honestly I'm excited to see a whole new tier of things. I've spoken to Smithy about this, I've spoken to Grim about this, like the whole, like the Mistlands thing and the gear that's gonna come out of it. You guys know what I'm already like thinking might come of it and stuff, and the ideas that are coming out of my head. I'm very excited to see a whole new line of gear and like tier of equipment and also, you know, like every like tier of equipment so far has had like a special unique item that isn't recreated in any of the other tiers. And I'm just excited to find out what that is and you know, discover it. So that's that. Yeah, I'm hyped.
Well, Mistlands is going to be very interesting, to say the least.
So let's jump. There was a from a building perspective. Like, please, pretty please, with a cherry on top. Can we have angled iron and angled darkwood, please?
Do they serve a purpose though?
Yeah, they look great.
Okay, so then in that case, no.
Ah!
Well, I had this discussion last night with our dear Norwegian streamer, and I said, convince me that dark wood beams would look good in angles, because they wouldn't. They wouldn't match the
Wait,
other
are we
ones.
talking iron or dark wood?
Dark wood. Dark wood would look strange because it wouldn't, looping. It wouldn't loop correctly with the one we already have, so it would look strange.
But we could. Okay, wait, because this is a different discussion.
Yeah. Now you have Grimcore, and he can say it's like, okay.
No, but the thing is, we could make the angled beams do have a purpose. They're there for the stability.
Yeah.
But when you're working with iron beams, you've got so much stability that it wouldn't make sense having one, right?
I get what you're saying, but also I think so there are definitely builds where I have had to either download a specific mod to get what I want done, where all of the supports holding up this grandiose roof have been angled, right? They've been angled core wood or angled regular wood or anything, and that's done for an aesthetic reason. And if I had the ability to run an angled iron the way up, well, I mean, technically I did because I did it, got it in through mods, but an angled iron naturally in would just be amazing. It would be gorgeous. And yeah, you're right, from a fully practical standpoint, they're not needed because you can support vertically. But you could argue that exact same thing for every other angled beam, yet they exist. So
I mean,
that's true. I mean, as long as you can convince, because Richard hates putting in stuff in just because it's pretty. Like, I had difficulties trying to get the decorative wall in. There's no need for the decorative wall at all. But if you can convince him, then you're good to go. That's all I can say.
yeah, I'm just happy I got a core logins. I'm just so happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or yeah, you can
also,
convince Eric because he can do stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I did. I never talked to Richard about it. I just asked Eric, "Can you do this?" He goes like, "I'm not sure I can." I'm like, I'm gonna bet that you can." And he goes like, "Hmm." And it took like a week, and then like, "Hey Smith, wanna see something?" I'm like, "What did you do?" He goes like, "I made this," and I'm like, "Ooh, shiny! Can we put it in him?" He's like, "Oh, sure." And I think that was maybe the first part we built for Hearth and Home. I think.
Could be.
I think it's the first one.
Roofs took a lot of time. The
Oh,
dams
yeah.
thing, that took a lot of time.
Yeah. I still remember the dragon, like the dragon scale things that looks like on top before you clean them out in the tops.
Oh yeah, there was a dragon scales. There was these like square tiles as well. There was some kind of half dragon scales, and there was these really long ones as well. I've got a lot of different roofs in a file over there. So if we ever need more roofs,
I think honestly, I think probably from the building community, those roofs have been the absolute shout from the rooftop success. We in the building community, we have absolutely, because I kind of sit in both communities. I sit very much in the building community, but I also sit very much in the gameplay and the exploration community as well. But from the building community, those rooftops were like a early Christmas for us. Oh my goodness, they are so beautiful, and they can really just accentuate builds in such a beautiful way.
that's nice to hear, because my fingers bled making them.
I think you
And
should
then-
tell them about the Darkwood door.
Oh.
Because I think that is one of the best pieces actually in Hearth and Home, and it's so funny how that came to be. But or maybe you shouldn't tell them. I don't know.
Oh, but tell them, because I forgot how it did go pretty quick to
Yeah,
make
I
it.
mean, well, okay. If that's all right, I'll just say it.
Yep.
The thing was that there wasn't a Darkwood door. I think there was in the list somewhere, but it wasn't gonna be made and it wasn't gonna exist. But then the animated trailer was released.
Oh
And,
yes.
Oh
Now I
yeah,
and
remember.
then in that
right.
trailer, they show a bunch of stuff, like, and it's animated, so of course it's not like, oh, this is gameplay or something. But then everybody's like, oh, there's gonna be a big door, and then like it was fairly spontaneous. And, like it wasn't a ton of people, but there was a few people who were like, oh, there's gonna be a door, and then we were like, people are gonna be disappointed if there isn't a door.
Yeah, because they
And-
were saying because of that shot that we have there, we needed to build anticipation. So we had to hang on that door and that shot for an extra second. And so where people were going like, there's definitely going to be a door. If I don't get a door, then I don't know what I'm getting.
Yeah, and the funny part is like that trailer was released. Was it like 2 weeks before the Hearth and Home update or something?
Yes.
So
Oh, yeah.
I remember just like it went pretty fast. You're like, oh, we need to build this door, and then like within a week or something, the whole thing was done.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
the
I
amount
think
of-
that's one of the coolest pieces. Like I've seen people. I just saw, was it yesterday, some YouTube video about some guy building like really cool pillars with lots of like rotated angled doors, open and closed, and like you can make really cool things with it actually.
Yeah, I
I forgot about that. Yeah, it was 2 weeks until release, and we just
Yeah.
like, okay, we need a door. Build it. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, door.
door.
I studied
More
that
door.
video. I studied that. Yeah, I won't deny when that animated trailer came out. I studied every single little bit of it because the thing is you guys probably know this, but Coffee Stain particularly as a company have for years now done a lot of like trailer videos where they have teased and hinted at new stuff in very secretive ways. And so being that you guys are published by Coffee Stain, that immediately makes anyone who's already a Coffee Stain fan study your videos with a large amount more scrutiny than they would a company or a developer that wasn't involved with Coffee Stain.
Now we know that, so for the next
that's good.
video we release, we'll be like, okay, can we go through this? Do we really want to make everything that's in this video?
The big thing about the animated was that I wanted to create something like as soon as I knew that okay, Valheim is a success, I started painting these sketches of like Lisa as an animated character, and how Richard would look like and what I would look like, because I wanted to have this bubble. I don't know, like this bubble universe of Valheim in an animated series. I was like, okay, if I can just present this good, and I presented it to Richard, and he was like, yes, this is exactly what we need. And we wanted to make a trailer so we actually could, I don't know, get people excited, but also not need to have to stand behind all the choices we like. If you do a real a gameplay video trailer, you see what you get. And one of the big things, like from the PC Gamer trailer, we have a boat with all these shields, and I made it happen. And we're not using it currently because we're saving a lot of the stuff there for the ship update, and we didn't want to start mixing in stuff that might be coming or might not be coming, or something that gets cancelled in the middle of production. So that was a good way for us, I believe, to just keep the feeling of Valheim and just have people be excited and not expect too much, because we thought, I've always thought that Hearth and Home is a big update, but it's pretty small in size for what a content patch could be. I don't know, it was a way of trying to contain expectations and excitement as well. But I wouldn't have changed anything in that trailer. By the way, it was so fun working on it, and I'm looking forward to doing more.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more. I lap that stuff up, you know, especially, you know, the style of it, the artistic style of it was just really awesome, and it was just a really, really cool thing to just suddenly pop up one day. You know, there was no lead up to it. It just suddenly one day it was like, boom, here it is, and you're like, oh, this is dope. So real quick question: where did the sound, like, whose door was recorded for the sound of the Darkwood door?
Whose sound?
Yeah, so you know the big Darkwood gate. It has the most
Yep.
satisfying funk when it closes.
Yeah. Okay, so that was Dennis, our sound guy, is contracted. He did the music for the trailer as well, but he works on all the sounds and everything in Valheim. And I remember Richard was like, "We need a good sound for the door," and he was working on it like for at least one day, at least.
Not, by
Sounded
the
like
way,
you were gonna say a month, and he's like for at least a day.
No, but he worked really fast, Dennis. I have to mention that because he's a fast worker, not Dennis.
he also made the puke sound.
He made and we get to hear so many different puke sounds as well. I was like, oh, this is too watery. This sounds too real. By the way, we can't have it too real.
I was
I think when I took the most comedical one, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was half expecting when I first like heard about the Book Perries, like I was expecting that. I don't know whether you guys have seen the film Team America: World Police, but there's a scene where he's like vomiting out the back of the bar, and it's the most comical vomit sound there is. You know, it's just like one big long sound.
Yeah.
And I was
never end.
I will never die.
I was just expecting something like that, and I wasn't disappointed, admittedly, at all.
Good.
But let's grab another question. Oh yes, so one question that people are kind of dying to know is to do with the comfort system and the distance, like the comfort distance, and you know, like how people that do big builds, and I again I can almost predict your answer in that, like, does it serve a purpose? But is there maybe like the possibility where like certain furniture items that provide comfort that arguably aren't a typical bedroom item might be able to have longer or extended ranges to apply the comfort so that they can be in other rooms if someone's got a larger house or something? Or do we have to just continue to hide things underground, under floors and stuff?
It's so funny that this is a problem, actually.
Yeah. I don't have a good answer, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Does anyone else have a good answer?
Not really. But
I would say it's a programming thing.
I mean, it's easy to fix. Like, it's easy to mod if you'd want to mod it. But like, I don't know. There again, like, it's not something that we have discussed a lot lately. But like, if somebody really wanted to like make a video of how you're building everything underground to have your comfort and everything, and then hopefully that it will be like, if you look at it and like, oh yeah, actually that's something that we need to fix.
Yeah.
Like, I personally haven't considered it to be such a big problem, but I can see that being an issue, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do have a video from very early on where I did a video on the most compact base. And part of that was literally just stuffing like workshop upgrades and comfort items under the ground, and then like, so like you build on a level and have like a basement, but the basement actually wasn't a basement as much as it was just a hole to throw everything in for like workshop upgrades for your workshop and your forge, and to throw comfort items in and everything, and then you just floor over the top of that, and then you have your very small, like very compact house. And that was kind of like how you had like a small house, but everything was still in range and everything. And yeah, it's yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a problem, like that we can get around it without too much stress, right? It's just nice, you know, if you've got like a big sort of grand hall and you have like a throne room and stuff and everything, and then you have like a bedroom around the back, and it'd just be nice if you didn't have to build a second throne and hide it under the ground or put it somewhere just so you can get the comfort buff when you're actually in your bedroom, sort of thing. It is just a comfort thing, like
I think like, I mean, this is again personal opinion, but I think like in a way, I mean, people play games differently, and I definitely understand if it's a competitive game where the whole goal is like winning and joining a competition and earning money in esports and everything like that. But other than that, I'm kind of against like min-maxing too much. Like, so I'd say like comfort might not be designed to like you're not supposed to have maximum comfort everywhere in your house. Like, and even for me, like if you think, say, role-playing aspect of that is like it might not be as comfortable to be in a giant, big, cold throne room than it is to be in a small, cozy bedroom. So in a way, I think like I don't know, do you really want to have maximum comfort everywhere? Because then everything else will be irrelevant. Like if you don't have maximum comfort, then it's basically equal to zero comfort. I don't know.
That's a
I
very
think
good answer.
that's a very good answer. I'm duplicating his answer right now as we speak.
I'm kind of split though. I mean, from a aesthetics point of view, I can see that you need like a bathroom with bathroom attire, and you're gonna have like this grand hall with all the like the stuff, and you don't want a dragon bed in there. But also, I can like see how the Vikings did it like the olden days when they shared beds with the pigs and the cows and the goats and the kids and the granddads, and basically have like a smith's place all like in the end of the house. So it's kind of Viking-ish actually to have like everything in like not a close enclosure, but having like a lot of things like multi-purpose rooms. So it's I'm kind of split between like how modern should it be? Should we just extended ranges? I think it has most things have the same distance, but like for example, you can hide or put a banner outside your house. You don't have to have it inside your house, for example. Not sure if you know, but you can get comfort from because we did specially the bathtub, so you can actually be outside. You don't need a enclosure and roof to get comfort from the bathtub.
Yes. Yeah, I did
So
notice that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can. So my own private world, I have made everything look aesthetically nice, and I still have the outdoor bathroom. I mean the outdoor bath. So it's like playing. You know what I mean? Building wise, it's like, how do I make this look aesthetically pleasing, and also min-maxing my gameplay? It's like a little challenge.
On the topic of the hot tub, I assume you guys sort of like were being kind of on the nose about it, considering how much the hot tub has been discussed in gaming and streaming and everything, like in the past year, and then suddenly you guys come out with a hot tub. Like you guys are definitely, that was something that was on your mind when you were putting the hot tub in the game, right?
No, actually, no. It was actually not at all. We were talking about putting in a sauna or a hot tub or a tub of some sort for the pleasure of sitting in hot water or going into sauna and just getting hot. But then, hot tub streams. So yeah.
I think it was like, I think Richard posted a picture. He's like, I would like that to be a cool thing in the game.
Yeah.
And then it didn't perfectly become what he had envisioned, but it became a thing.
Doesn't like Richard, he wants a hot tub, so maybe he just like he can't fit it into his apartment at the moment, so he just had to have one in game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I mean, like, comfort for everyone is different. Like, I'd gladly have a I don't know, a very ugly house and filled with weapons on my walls, and increase my comfort, because that would comfort me. But it's different for everyone, so. And I'm not getting what I want when it comes to comfort. I don't even use comfort, so I don't know.
Don't. You never use comfort in the game. I become addicted.
Yeah, no, me too. I can't function without rested buff.
But I stopped dying also, so it's quite interesting. I stopped dying after playing Hearth at Home and realizing adjusting foods, eating correctly, and actually be rested. Not sure why.
I mean, it couldn't be because it gives you a bunch of combat buffs. No.
No. Totally not.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And also, yeah, I have toyed around. I did a build where I literally built every comfort item under the ground and then built a hot tub on top of it, so you can literally just get in the hot tub and have a pure comfort, like full comfort, which is pretty fun. But
I think that if you want to min-max in that way, I think it's a fun way to do it. I mean, it's still like you can do that, and it's actually like the solution is a fun solution, and then it's a good solution in a way.
Yeah, it's creative thinking, isn't it? And that is like when a game encourages creative thinking and creative problem solving, then that is a good thing. That's a really good thing. What other questions have we got here? Oh, okay. This is kind of a joke question. It's a little bit on the nose, but how's the horse?
Oh, the horse is good. I think I haven't yet seen the horse, to be honest. I'd like to go see the horse. I think we sent enough money for 2 horses, but we got to name one of the horses.
Okay.
Is that correct? I think it was something like that. We gave them money for 2 horses, so disabled kids could ride on them. But we got to name one, and then we chose to call it Valheim.
Awesome. Okay, so to talk about something that I was added in Hearth and Home, tar and fluid dynamics. Love it. Absolutely love it. And it's
Is this a question about rivers?
it cool, right. So that question's over.
I think Richard answered that, and he said it's going to be complicated, and a revamp of a lot of things that is complicated.
Yeah.
I think it's like last time I saw him actually replying to someone in our public test chat, I think it was. So I mean, it's not impossible, but it's going to be complicated, and probably impact some of your frames.
What was the actual question?
Fluid dynamics and rivers.
Yeah, so it is like I have like seeing fluid dynamics in the game just immediately, especially like just the fact that I've been doing some testing in preparation for a video, and the fact that it's actually possible to build a base next to a tar pit, dig a moat around that base, and then drain the tar pit into it and have a tar moat. It works and is functional. I love it's incredible. But obviously, it's obviously raised the questions of the ability to actually have proper moats and be able to dig river channels and have flowing water and the like. And so that the question was very much of a now fluid dynamics has presented itself in the game as something that functions. Like, are we going to see water fluid dynamics, or is it like an idea?
It's very heavy on the CPU using like when you're calculating it all the time. But we've talked like before early access in the beta stages how we could make rivers and how we would implement them, and we tried one thing but it didn't really work out because since you can change the terrain, and we really don't want to have it too CPU intensive, it's a bit difficult. The next thing becomes, if we add rivers, what do we get from having rivers? Is there anything? Do we benefit from having rivers? Basically, if the question is yes, we will try to put that in.
All I say to that is, have you seen boat slides?
Yes, but
yes,
you only need
awesome.
a slide for that.
Yeah, I've seen plenty, and I saw bouncing boats as well.
Yeah.
That is not a thing anymore, by the way, but
I remember we were doing the bouncing boat thing.
Yeah, it was fun.
I could just add to that fluid question, like from the technical standpoint, the current tar system is not really built to handle 2 big areas. And if you're going to build, say, if you're going to be able to free build with liquid, you'd have to be able to support, say, basically any size, and then it has to be very optimized. And part of the problem of building things in this game is that there's already quite a few people who are like, why are you adding things when you really need to optimize a game? Because we want to build this huge city, and I have 5 FPS. Like, so it's like on one side we want to add more things, and on the other side we also want to optimize what we have, like make the game more interesting, but also make it run better. rather than like make it run even worse than it currently is.
That
So-
makes a lot of sense. Honestly,
but
go on.
but then again, I just want to say rivers sound cool, so it's not impossible, but at the moment technically maybe improbable.
Yeah, if you look at the fluids, I mean, if you look at the water, it's just one plane in the game right now. That it makes, I mean, it does waves and everything quite okay, but it doesn't like make it anywhere close to normal. If you start looking at, for example, when you use the pickaxe and just completely empty a tar pit, it makes really strange behavior of the liquids when it comes to the edges, and specifically like 90-degree edges, where you basically can see like no clip vision straight into like the floors and stuff, like really janky stuff, and all that is like just the top of the issues with the fluid mechanics in the game right now when it comes to tar versus the normal transformable land.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And you know, a lot of games avoid terraforming. It just full stop, because it can be such, you know, like in terms of optimization. And I think a lot of people don't realize this. When they compare Valheim to another game and the optimization and stuff, and they talk about the graphics and how like why is a game with this sort of like voxel polygon style like not performing so well. And then I think that one of the things people don't realize is that because terraforming eats CPU like crazy, because a game without terraforming can have one height map and it's set and it's easy and no one has to, and like it doesn't have to be referenced, it doesn't have to be called, it's very relaxed. And as soon as you start terraforming at all, that height map becomes like it constantly calling for reference every time it gets rendered in, every time it pops in, every time the render camera changes. Like it adds a massive thing. And I love the fact that there is terraforming in this game. I think terraforming is an iconic part of Valheim, and so I'm glad it's in there. I don't think people realize how resource intensive terraforming is, and the changing of land like that. But
also just the fact that like many games are very, like, I'm sure, I mean, there are definitely games where you can build an infinite amount of whatever you want, but being a game that you are allowed to build as much as you want in the same spot, it's, I mean, impossible basically to build it so it will be 100% optimized. It will always run good on different computers.
Exactly.
And I mean, at least from what I've seen, most of the complaints performance-wise are people who want to build really big cities and filled with things. And I mean, I definitely understand that too. So I mean, personally, I think it is really important to work on optimizations and keep building it. But it's like a double-edged sword, and you want to have an open game where you can do whatever you want. But if you do whatever you want, then I mean, it's going to be really expensive for your computer.
Yeah. I realize I've kept you guys for a couple of hours now, so I don't want to keep you all night long. You know, is there anything that you guys would like to say, to talk about, that hasn't been said already, like tonight, for the community to hear and stuff?
No, not really. I mean, except for I don't know. We really do love our community. We love talking to basically anyone who's willing to have a normal discussion about things. But no, yeah, it's been a weird year. Let's say that's the least you could say, because I didn't think it not remotely close to where we are right now. It's so weird that we're bigger than 20,000 sales that I thought it's going to be. So I'm very thankful and very humbled that so many like playing the game. I'm a bit sad for what happened with the roadmap. But that is not really holding us back for what we're trying to do for the entirety of Valheim. And I mean, also the COVID situation has been difficult. It's actually more difficult to go back to work than it was going away from work. I mean, working home has been super effective, going to work is less effective. I mean, at the office.
Yeah. I think it's something a lot of companies have realized. Actually, I know a lot of companies that I've got friends that work for them have actually dissolved their offices and have moved into, even though like lockdown's over and people are moving back into offices, they've gone, actually, wait a minute. No, we like this better. And they're like continuing everyone to work from home sort of thing. I understand there are certain jobs that doesn't work for, and you know, especially with a small studio like you guys have got, it can be very beneficial in some ways to be able to just be around the corner from someone and be able to be like, hey, you know, what do you think of this idea and stuff like that, without having to go through the processes of calling someone and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
So,
and the thing is, like, I like being at the office just for the reason of seeing if Richard is busy or not, so I could like, hey, can we talk about this? Have you thought about like what if we? Oh, Jonathan, you remember the day you were at work, and I came in because I was talking to Smith, and I came out and you were sitting with Richard, and I was like, hey, what if we can disable vacuum cleaning in Valheim? You remember that day?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure that would have happened the way it did happen if we were just staying at home, because it was more like, what if we turn that off? Because I want to be able to pick up my the way it was like, I'm rolling around with my spear, so I throw my spear, roll around, and if I'm fighting a troll, I accidentally pick up a stone, and it slots into my spear slot.
yeah.
I was like, can we turn that off? So Jonathan, he fixed that. So he fixed that, and I have used it 0 times.
Ooh, I use it a
Most
lot of times.
ungrateful like instant fix.
So
But it's also, but I
ungrateful.
agree. Like, I think it needs to be like, for me at least, the perfect balance would be to meet, say once a week or so, say 1 or 2 days per week or every other week or something like that. So you really have a time to hang out and do a lot of this like socialized talking and planning things. But also, personally, I also work a lot more. Well, I'm not going to say a lot more, but it is more effective to be at home, where you can just like zone into your cave and just do work.
Yeah.
You can join the Discord chats when you're available, but at least like coding wise, especially, it's really hard to have a discussion and have lots of things happening in the office at the same time as you're supposed to focus on debugging and finding things and thinking of all the different cases and things like that.
Yeah, of course.
But also the lunch discussions.
Lunch
Like when you-
discussions are good.
Yeah. I want in.
But I mean, it doesn't actually. No, I think lunch discussions is not that much of Valheim talk. It's more like when we do the fika and have
yeah.
a coffee. That's when we probably mostly do anything Valheim related. Me and Richard were sitting like last week talking Mistlands very privately and secretively. But then on Friday, I bought him, I don't know, some kind of cookie or something. Lisa was there and Andreas was there, and we were sitting down and then openly talking Mistlands instead. So I think I found the key.
Ah, fika.
Hold on, let me sort you out here.
Oh yeah,
you
no,
can
never
post a
mind.
link.
I was gonna post just the names of things instead, because somebody
Okay.
asked for social links, and
Yeah.
I just could call that in.
My life sucks.
That we do we do a dev stream. It's pretty much us three and also a few more on Grim's Twitch account.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That we do on Sundays and sometimes Tuesdays, where we play the game together and discuss things, and we also take questions in the chat. So if anybody has like anything you want to ask, you can always come by there.
Yeah, can I be really cheeky and offer a little bit of advice? And feel free to take it or not, but you have an incredibly powerful Twitter account. Like just use it. Like the Valheim Twitter account.
No.
Like
I don't want to.
You don't want to?
No.
Okay.
No. It's okay. So I like it when there's a couple of people, so I can actually answer people.
Yeah.
Those that are there. I think at maximum we were like up at 80, 90, and it was like I couldn't. I just wanted small and cozy, so no.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
I
Fair enough.
understand.
Yeah. See, that's just my content creator head going there. That's not, but no, I completely understand.
We don't want to turn him into that he's living off of his Twitch income.
No.
Then he might stop making cool things for the game. So.
Yeah, but also a thing that we talked and discussed a bit is if you're gonna go with Grimcore's personal, like stream fun thing and turn it into work time, if you're gonna use like the official Valheim Twitter account, we can post, of course, in the Discord. We can post it on Steam. Then we have like close to like 1 million people following like all social media accounts. But what would that happen to the casual format that the stream has? You could basically turn it to like a Q&A session, and we can't like enjoy the fun anymore.
I don't know. I just want to be that small little corner on Twitch where some people find me or find us rather.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not out to become famous or anything. Just if people want to hang out, look at us die and get lost, because we're playing no maps on Sundays and Tuesdays where we don't have a map.
Yeah, I wonder which two people talked about it and made that thing in the game. I have no idea.
That was also one of those things. Like, can we disable maps? Jonathan, like, I'm on it.
Like it's so funny. Like some things that we make, it's like we build them or we're discussing them and we may or may not do them. But other things, they just like that no map thing. We were just like talking about it, and I was like, yeah, that sounds fun, and I want to play that with my friends. So I need to like it would be fun if this got into the Hearth and Home update, and Richard didn't say anything against it because we were sitting there. So I was like, okay, so I just add it and pushed it up, and he's like, hey, no more cowboy commits. Stop just pushing things into the Hearth and Home. But I'm glad it made it in there so we can play it.
So team, you should use it as well, like always. Just saying, you have to use it now.
Okay.
Yeah, just like Smith always uses it on our server.
Yeah. I admit I have to. I'm gonna be punished for some. I'm not sure the punishment, but I'm gonna be punished for it.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay. It's not okay.
One thing that has just popped into my head that I was supposed to ask and I completely forgot to, so I'll make it the last thing I ask, is I mean, some of you guys will know that I adjust values using a mod to adjust files, right? Like things like drop rates and like gather rates and all this sort of stuff. Because I think this is very much a thing that would be very, very beneficial towards the game. You have like a server config, like not that I'm trying to say like every other survival game, but like other survival games have, where when you're setting up a server, you can set like, okay, like through like the difficulty level, the resource drop rate and all this sort of thing. Because, and I know for like larger community servers, they just run out of resources, especially with the limited variety like tar. Like, if everybody on the server is doing big Darkwood builds, there just becomes no tar on the server very quickly. And stuff like that. And so the ability to like say, okay, well, tar drops at 3 times, so you get 3 times the amount of tar and stuff like that, which would be really great for those sort of servers. Is it something you've considered or are interested in doing?
Sounds like you've got a very valuable resource.
You have to fight it for it. No, but I think Jonathan's gonna talk about it later. But as far as I know, Devoid added the dedicated server feature like super early and made it work because some of the beta testers wanted a dedicated servers thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean during early access we updated and did that?
No, I mean like all the way back in beta, a few testers were asking for it.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't really working because we didn't foresee that dedicated servers were going to be a big thing, because they were not really working when we released early access.
Yeah, exactly. It was like.
But I think there, when it comes to server modification stuff, that's something we have discussed
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm not sure. Yeah, like
I'm not sure
one
we
thing.
can talk about it, but you go
Yeah,
for
of
Jonathan.
Of course. Yeah.
You're the one who said it now, so I'm just spinning off of what Grim said. We have discussed that there might be server like settings, like say more server settings, and exactly what that entails remains to be seen. But if currently there's like technically not really support for that, but if we add support for that, there will. I mean, it would be possible to add like any number of different modifications
Yeah,
to
so
that.
first things are going in are probably hard mode and easy mode and
No
No
map
map.
mode.
intended in no map mode and intended to play mode and totally nude mode and
Oh.
Sandbox
penis
mode.
physics. And,
But just imagine what the modding community can do with the thing if we add it.
Yeah.
Like, just imagine the modding
Yeah,
community.
and that's what I mean. Like, even though like I can't say for sure what we will be adding, but if we add support for like differently configured servers, you'd definitely. I assume that the modding community will be adding more options to that also. Not to say that we're relying on them like in any way, definitely, but I mean, since we can't speak for the whole team and saying which parts we will be adding to that, it's hard to say currently. But there will be definitely would be interesting to have different ways of starting a server, like you say. I'm on more of Grim's side. Like I'd definitely personally play on a server that would be harder rather than easier. But it's also important to understand that people play games in different ways, and even though it might not be our preference, like some people just want to have an easier time and more relaxed time or creative things like that. So I think it's important to try to look at the community and see like how are different ways that people play the game and try to keep everybody like try to keep people happy without of course overstepping any type of bound in what the original vision is, if you can say that.
No, of course. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you coming out here, spending your time outside of work to come and talk to me and the community. I think I've been sort of like reading chat where I've had a chance, and it seemed like almost everyone is just so incredibly grateful to you guys coming out and having this chat with us. And I think it's been great, and I think it's I think it's helped us understand your studio and what you guys do so much better, and I'm just very, very grateful for that. So thank you very much.
Oh, no worries. It was fun coming. And also, there's something exciting coming soon, and there's something super exciting coming a lot later.
Is this the first we're hearing? Is this right here,
I don't know.
right now? Like announcement?
Someone say something?
I have no idea.
Richard's gonna wake up with a headache tomorrow. Anyways.
It's fine.
But no, so can we you guys should all be able to do this. Can you just chuck like maybe I'm not going to say this actually. If you want to, please chuck your Twitter account in the chat so that people can go and follow it. I know Grim has a decently active Twitter account. I don't know Jonathan and Smithy whether you guys do, but if you want to, please do chuck it in the chat so people know where they can find you.
Yeah, more recently we've been sharing nice little how should you say it, bits and pieces from our office life, which can be interesting. So if you really want to know the master plans behind some of the plans, you should check out our whiteboard posts that both
Absolutely.
Grim posted one and then I posted another one. So
yeah, I don't use my Twitter more than just read stuff, so mine is boring, and my Instagram is very boring. But people keep following my Instagram for thinking it's gonna be like, oh, it's a dev, it's gonna post stuff. Oh no, I just post private stuff for family members basically. But I mean, I'm on Discord like 20 hours out of 24, so just hit me up on Discord if you wanna chat or talk.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely anyone that hasn't had their question answered, because I know there were a lot of questions and we definitely didn't get through even a fraction of them. Anyone that hasn't had their question answered, jump into the official Valheim Discord. All of the devs are up there in the developer section up in the top right of that Discord. And I think you're taggable in that Discord as well, which is very brave.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah,
go
like
ask
DMing
questions.
on the Discord might not be the best idea. Like at least it's a little bit different how we handle it. Like I try to answer sometimes, and like it's okay to DM Smith. That's basically his job, I guess. So that's fine. But I think like a better way, if you want more of like an open discussion answer, is to join when we're playing the game, because then we can just like relax and talk about things.
Yeah.
Like if we get DMs in the day, we're trying to work on the game. Might not always have lots of time to sit and chat about things. But you're very welcome to join the Discord, of course, and there's a lot of other people there who have good answers also.
Oh yeah, our glorious helper team.
And also keep an eye out, because I'm making a short movie called Valheim Saga: Locks and I.
I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, we had a pre-viewing of that, and I was like in tears, and like I understand why they have been nominated for Oscars already.
I saw Grim's tweet.
Yeah, I just wish I had a role in the movie now, because he's going to Hollywood next, I think. So
don't worry, we're making, because what I want to do is like make the community do a Valheim Saga and then a subtitle, and make their own movies, so we can have lots of movies coming out. That would be fun.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean there are pretty good recording options like in the console, just for changing the camera views and stuff, so you can make pretty cool videos.
There are. I have loved using FreeFly and the smoothing and everything. And one thing that people don't realize is that you can left click to lock onto something, and then you can just rotate around it perfectly, and it's amazing. In fact, and as a content creator, thank you, because those tools are so good.
There's also more functionality if you have a controller as well, because you can use the sticks for changing your field of view and stuff as well.
Oh, I'll have to get my controller out and give that a test.
Because that's why a lot of my shots that I'm making right now is like a field of view like 20, so you get really up and close and gritty, and it makes a huge difference when you're making your movies.
Yeah, guys.
Grim was complimenting Richard on like he works in the office and he comes home and works, but like I can say I'm surprised, like Robin is basically, he also has a family with kids that are a bit older, and he's like both working all the time, and he's also making streams, and he's also making like this epic fully featured 2.5-hour movie that's gonna come on Netflix and everything like that now. So joking aside, but he's still also doing like all these side projects, and I'm really impressed by that.
I need to do stuff.
Oh, stuff and things?
Yep.
Stuff and things. Well, yeah, no, again, thank you guys. Twitch.tv/ire_art. Sunday evenings for the dev stream. Yeah, I mean, all I can say is thank you again. This has been an awesome experience. Thank you for replying to me and agreeing to get all this.
No, it's been good. It's this is how interviews should be held. So many interviews. I mean, okay, so personally, I think you did a really good job interviewing. It felt really, really relaxed, and it feels good. So a number like a sequel is definitely something to consider. I've had so many interviews that are so stale and boring, and they don't even know anything about the game. So this is how it should be conducted. So thank you, Redbeard, for having us.
No, you're very welcome. It helps that I'm passionate about the game, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot for having us. It was a lot of fun.
But now I'm gonna go see if I have any intestines and some boar meat downstairs, because I need some thing to eat. Sausage.
Oh, sausages. No,
Yes.
Fantastic. Awesome. Yeah, once again, guys, thank you so much. Have a great and fantastic rest of your evening, and hopefully, yeah, maybe we'll be back at this again soon.
Definitely.
Well, you bring the fika then.
Yeah.
I don't know what fika is.
Emotions are too strong for you, traveler.
The buns and cookies and coffee and tea.
And coffee.
Ah.
Coffee.
Was that
Well,
is that
I don't-
afternoon tea or what's that?
I don't know. Some leaves and water.
Fika. Fika is fika.
Sounds amazing.
Anyway,
to me.
I've got to
Yeah.
go. I really got to go.
Yeah.
So have a nice one. Bye.
Yeah.
Take
Bye,
care.
bye.
Yeah, bye bye.
Thank you.